25 years of media excellence. Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Accra. A digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country including A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Sunshine FM in Boko, and Clenham Radio in Bato. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is proudly brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G. Just a touch in this edition.
And the school money. We can charge 20%, 25%. Then amongst us, we agree that this person gets this person. So everybody should be sorted out. Then there will be peace.
Former GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi slapped with 3 charges, including fraud, as state begins prosecution after he was exposed in number 12 documentary.
I pleaded not guilty to those charges. So the basis is that it is our view that these are not charges that can be proven by the state.
We have details as his lawyers maintain he has not committed any crime. Ghana Health Service debunks claims man who died in Kumasi had contracted the deadly coronavirus. As it says, Ghana is yet to record any case.
The country has not recorded any case of the virus. The 41 suspected cases that we've tested as at 4th March are all negative.
We have details as the health minister appears before Parliament to answer questions on the country's preparedness. Minister for Works and Housing debunks claims that drain at asylum down here in Accra is fully drenched in filth after residents raised concerns about the country's preparedness for floods.
There was a whole propaganda trending that a lot of debris were floating. You can see that after 15 minutes of a downpour, that arrangement couldn't be like that. It was all false.
We have an update as he tours some flood-prone areas within the capital in sports.
Local players must work 4 times harder to earn a place in the senior national team. That's according to Black Stars head coach C.K. Akono.
And in our Ghana Man series today,
when the landlord is there to tell the eloquent story of his house, you don't ask the caretaker for confirmation. When you even cough in the market, even the deaf can understand what you have said. When your mouth is full of water, you cannot blow to the candy fire.
We bring you proverbial responses by MP for Sanorugu to questions asked by SMS host Daniel Dazi. All that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. And this afternoon, former president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantakyi, has been slapped with 3 charges, including fraud. A former member of the GFA's executive committee, Abdullahi Al-Hassan, also faces 2 charges, namely conspiracy to commit fraud and fraud. The former football administrator was in 2018 filmed in a documentary by Anas Arimiyaw Anas titled Number 12, using the name of the president to peddle influence. Court correspondent Joseph Okable joins us from the court as Mr. Nyantakyi was granted a 1 million Ghana cedi bail. He will join us in studio for proceedings in court. But first, here's a look back at the role of Mr. Nyantakyi in that documentary.
You can start with something small, your own discussion. Then, when you get the contracts, big contracts, we can go back and give them more money. Then we take over the whole country.
In several meetings, Nyantakyi negotiated a sponsorship deal, an arrangement which on the face of it was worth $15 million for the Ghana FA.
Let's really talk about the sponsorship. For the sponsorship, it's very important because it will give you wide publicity in Ghana and beyond.
Nyantakyi's job is to look after the best interests of the Ghana FA. But the deal he was negotiating potentially gave him a 20% cut. The money would go through an agency he was going to set up.
We will form a company to be the agency. And that company will be responsible for ensuring that the benefits that the GFA will promise are and then who will negotiate with GFA? He will not pay. GFA will pay from the sponsorship amount. And the school money. We can charge 20%, 25%. Then amongst us, we agree that this person gets this person. So everybody should be sorted out. Then there will be peace.
So those are excerpts of the number 12 documentary, and you heard Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi's voice. But I'm joined now in the studio by Joseph Okable. He was in court, sat through proceedings. Joseph, first run us through the state's case against Mr. Nyantakyi and the other accused person.
And so the case mainly hinges on that particular audio that we had a short while ago that talks about some distribution of money. We are told that that is a meeting that took place between representatives of the Tiger IPI, the investigative agency, who were claiming to be acting on behalf of a top official in the United Arab Emirates. They make the point that they executed an MOU between a non-existent company and the Tiger officials. The signature of the first accused person, that's Mr. Nyantechi, was witnessed to by the second accused person. It was agreed that they were supposed to pay money through his savings and loans company to be used to sponsor the Ghana Premier League. We are told that Tiger Eye paid him an amount of $65,000 as inducement for showing favor to the company as a potential sponsor of the GPL and to provide business opportunities in Ghana. It goes on to say that he demanded $12 million from them to award contracts for them in Ghana. It lists how that money was to be distributed. The president was to receive an amount of $5 million, Minister for Roads and Highways $5 million, Vice President $3 million, Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways $1 million, and $1 million for Mr. Nyantechi and Abdullah Al-Hassan, the second accused person.
Now we know he was granted bail. What were the conditions?
It's a million cedi bail with 3 sureties, 1 to be justified. What it means is that one of the 3 individuals who signed the bail on his behalf, they need to have landed properties or show evidence of properties worth 1 million cedis. They are also required to show up at the CID headquarters once a week, specifically on Friday.
Well, so he was in court today. What really was his outlook, for instance?
He was very calm. He was wearing a long-sleeve white shirt over a khaki trousers and sandals. He did look excited at a point when he was exchanging pleasantries with individuals who worked with him. There was Wilfred Osei Palmer. He contested. He had attempted to contest as a GFA president, but was unsuccessful. He was present to show his support to him. Other officials of various Ghanaian Premier League clubs were also present. And while they came before the case was called, they kept shaking hands with him and talking to him, and he seemed to be in good spirit before the case was called.
Knowing you, I'm sure you definitely tried approaching him for an interview, a word or two. Did that happen?
He didn't speak to us, but we managed to get a word from his lawyers. Charles Posen is a member of the legal team. He has been insisting that Mr. Nyantechi has not committed any crime.
I pleaded not guilty to those charges, so the basis is that it is our view that these are not charges that can be proven by the state.
Your colleague was making a point in the courtroom relating to the fact that what is said to have happened amounted to inducement, and he did not demand any money from anyone. What exactly was he seeking to drive at?
So basically, it's like you are on your own and somebody suddenly appears and say that I want you to help me do ABCD, this is your reward. Subsequently, you turn around and say that you have committed an offense. And such things I don't think that are permissible under the law. And that you cannot induce somebody to commit an offense and turn around and say the fellow is guilty of that offense. So basically, that's what he sought to do in the application for bail.
Satisfied with the bail conditions that have been fixed?
Basically, yes, they are going to meet the bail condition, except that we think that the kind of offense and the kind of amount they say they are involved, you ought not to give such a bail, lengthy bail term. Well, let me put it this way, condition. But I believe that as the court has a discretion to.
That's Charles Posing, his lawyer for former GFA President Kwesi Nyantechi, and he's been slapped with 3 charges, including fraud, as the state has begun prosecution after he was exposed in the number 12 documentary. He has since been granted a 1 million Ghana cedi bail. Now, on to health issues now, because the Minister of the sector, Kweku Agyeman-Manu, is today set to appear before Parliament to answer questions relating to the systems and measures the ministry is taking to prevent the deadly coronavirus. Now, this will be the second time within 2 weeks the Minister will brief Parliament over the preparedness of the country to deal with the coronavirus outbreak. Already, COVID-19 has claimed over 3,000 lives worldwide, with confirmed cases in Senegal, Tunisia, Algeria, and Nigeria, which is in the West African sub-region. My colleague Joseph Opoku Gakpo is in Parliament for us. He joins us on the line. So, Joseph, has that briefing happened, and were MPs satisfied with the information given?
So the health minister just finished addressing parliamentarians, and comments are being made on what he said by both minority and majority MPs. He's been disclosing that more than 5,000 protective equipment have been brought in and distributed across the country. He says a national committee has been put in place that reports directly to the president to help with the monitoring. He says the government of Ghana is doing everything possible to avoid an outbreak of the coronavirus in the country. He says that a 100-bed capacity facility will be ready in 2 weeks to help with necessary quarantining of any people who may be infected. And he's also been disclosing that more effective situations of monitoring have been put in place at the various borders, and necessary trainings are ongoing for medical personnel.
In line with the WHO's recommendations to member states to prepare and prevent further international spread of the outbreak by strengthening systems for containment, including active surveillance, early detection, isolation, case and contact management, the following preparedness and response actions have been triggered in Ghana. A health prevention emergency response team has been constituted by the President to handle the crisis, which has been reporting to the President on a daily basis. The public health emergency management structures at all levels, national, regional districts, have been activated and placed on high alert.
So, Joseph, quickly though, I would want to find out if MPs were satisfied with what they had in terms of our preparedness as a country. So it looks like we've just lost Joseph Opoku Gakpo there, our parliamentary correspondent. But you heard the Health Minister, Kweku Ajimanmenu, brief in Parliament on the country's preparedness on COVID-19. Now, we'll stay a while longer on this story, but this time in the Ashanti region, because there seems to be growing concerns among the residents over a man who they fear died due to untreated COVID-19 in his system. This was even after health officials dismissed the rumors after a test proved negative. But the Ghana Health Service has been holding its annual review meeting in Kumasi today, and my colleague Ohiming Teria is sitting through that briefing. He joins us on the line. So Ohiming, so far, what has the health service been saying about the man the residents suspect died from coronavirus?
Yes, Emefa, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Apawu, has been speaking here through the Deputy Director General of the Ghana Health Services, and he says that yes, the service took a charge of some samples, and the test conducted on those samples, it proved negative. And as of March 4th, 41 cases that came to their attention has been tested and proved negative.
The country has not recorded any case of the virus. And I repeat, the country has not recorded any case of the virus. The 41 suspected cases that we've tested as at 4th March are all negative, including the one that was reported in Kumasi that there has been a lot of furor about.
Now, I suppose this whole session is about COVID, or did anything else come up?
Emefa is actually a performance review meeting, and Dr. Abuaji has also been explaining measures that the Ghana Health Service has put in place. He calls them systems to ensure that there will be prevention of the first coronavirus case in Ghana, especially training of health officers to screen passengers who arrive at the Kotoka International Airport. You can take a listen to him.
But just before we do that, though, I mean, when the first denial came that the man who died in Kumasi was not as a result of coronavirus, we're told that they're still checking what the actual cause of death was. Did it come up at this meeting today, what actually he died from?
Not at all. At today's meeting, details of what actually killed him has not come up. But information I have been picking is that the Ghana Health Service, through the Ashanti Regional Health Directorate, has sent second sample to Noguchi Memorial Institute for further test. I've also picked the information that the disease, or the man who returned from Germany, his temperature was above 40%, of which health experts believe he could be suffering from any infectious disease apart from the coronavirus.
That's my colleague Ohiming Teria there. Now, health authorities in the Ashanti region have allayed fears also that the Chinese national in self-isolation in Kumasi on return from his country could pose public risk of coronavirus infection. Outgoing Regional Deputy Director for Clinical Care rather emphasizes it is the best measure to protect the public. Ohiming Teria has more in the following report.
Chinese businessman identified only as David reportedly returned last week from Guangzhou, about 980 kilometers from the Wuhan epicenter of coronavirus, and is on self-quarantined. It comes in the wake of first confirmed case in Nigeria, Algeria, and Egypt. Dr. Dumako Boateng describes self-quarantine as one of the best measures for people who have been exposed to the disease. He advised people with influenza and common cold to isolate themselves as well.
We have really what we call case definition, and this is what people should know so that we don't go into that panic state whereby we are sitting on an edge. For example, if you know that you are exposed, then self-quarantine is one of the ways.
Dr. Dumako Boateng endorses calls for people to refrain from handshake as well as adopt self-protective measures.
The best way I have to cough is this is what I do. If I shake somebody's hand, I assume the person is infected. It means that you have to do what? Wash your hands well with soap and running water or hand sanitizer. We are in desperate seasons, and desperate measures are supposed to put in place. Please, we shouldn't shake hands. Why don't we do elbow to elbow? Why don't we do leg to leg as in the WhatsApp media? At social gatherings, one, as much as possible, we stop the hugs, we stop the handshakes.
From Kumasi for Joy News, Ohimen Teria reporting.
So how well are you aware of the symptoms and the signs of COVID-19? We've been interacting with some barbers and hairdressers at Medina. Listen.
I'm just praying that we not get to this festive.
But in case it comes, do you know what to do?
No, I don't know.
The hairdresser just have to wear their gloves, cover their nose and stuff. But if they have the symptoms, I won't know since I don't know the symptoms.
I've heard that they said if someone has that infection, that person will be coughing or having a hot body temperature. But I've not seen it with my eyes.
But in case there's something like that, do you know what to do?
No.
All you have to do is to wash your hands regularly. If you see any signs of coughing and chest pains, please report to the nearest hospital. Now, residents of Sugakofe, where an assembly member was killed on Sunday, are optimistic fresh security measures announced by police could end the numerous robberies and killings there. Marcus Mauto Azahli was attacked by armed men who made away with an unsuspected sum of money from his home, leaving his wife and daughter severely injured. In the process, the killing sparked two separate protests, one which turned violent. They mounted roadblocks and restricted traffic flow for several hours, while a 3-day ultimatum by opinion leaders to police to find the perpetrators expires today. The residents say they are beginning to see some improvement in the security situation. Maxo Lukuto is an opinion leader.
The police activated themselves now. They are more visible on the ground. I think there's some kind of reinforcement. The regional crime scene investigators have come. Even the national CID has come. And I believe that they are putting all efforts together to unravel the mystery behind this killing. It has generated a lot of interest. Other people are falling in line. They are all volunteering information. My phone keeps buzzing with a lot of people giving me snippets of information that I relate to the police command and those who matter. We believe that it is not as it's been happening in the past.
Now, opinion leaders say they will be meeting later today to come to a decision after expiration of the ultimatum they've given. Wife and daughter of the deceased are said to be in stable condition after undergoing multiple surgeries. Corporal Prince Dogbache is Volta Region Police PRO.
First of all, I have the wife and the child of the deceased who had some injuries. They are fine. I think from yesterday we made this clear to the public that they were responding to treatment. But as I speak now, they have been discharged from hospital. And then again, on the part of those who were part of the misbehavior and sustained some injuries, they have been treated and discharged yesterday.
Meanwhile, former President Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings has described the murder of the assembly member as politically related. The former president has also given a 25,000 Ghana cedi bounty on the head of the killers. Here are excerpts of the statement read to you.
Former President Jerry John Rawlings is offering an additional amount of 25,000 cedis to earlier efforts towards reliable information leading to the arrest of the attackers who killed the assembly member for Sugakofe Marcus Ajahli last Sunday, and for those who committed another violent robbery in Vume, also in the Southtown district, about a month ago. The regional minister and the assembly had earlier offered 10,000 cedis each for the same purpose. The former president expresses disgust at the trend of violent attacks in the Southtown area, describing the killing of the assemblyman as politically related murder. Flight Lieutenant Rawlings is urging residents to exercise their right to anger and protest, but not to express their anger in the wrong direction or through violent action.
Now, stories making headlines in this edition of the Midday News. Former GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi has been slapped with 3 charges, including fraud, as state begins prosecution after he was exposed in the Number 12 documentary. He has since been granted a 1 million Ghana cedi bail. Still to come, Minister for Works and Housing debunked claims that drains at Asylum down here in Accra are fully drenched in filth after residents raised concerns about the country's preparedness for floods.
There was a whole propaganda trending that a lot of debris were floating. You can see that after 15 minutes of a downpour, that arrangement couldn't be like that. It was all false.
And later in our Ghana Man series,
when the landlord is there to tell the eloquent story of his house, you don't ask the caretaker for confirmation. When you even cough in the market, even the deaf can understand what you have said. When your mouth is full of water, you cannot blow to the candy fire.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Good things come in two, Sampa. You know your chamber quarter. And Nunti, from the second month of the year, for 2 months, DSTV is giving you 2 months DSTV access subscription instead of 1 when you buy a DSTV Zapper. Nothing so. Yes, step you up more than last month. Just pay for a higher package and DSTV will step you up to the one above that from 40 Ghana cedis all month long. SMS DSTV to 1731 and we will call you back or call 0302 740 540. DSTV, feel every moment.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Time for sports. Hans Mensando.
Head coach of the Black Stars, CK Akono, says local-based professionals must perform at a more consistent level to enhance their chances of playing for the country.
They need to perform very well, you know. I was once a local coach, and I believe that the performance, they are not able to perform 4 times in a row. It's a problem. I don't want to go deep about it. They are not able to do that. You see a player performing very, very well. The next week is semi, you know, then the third match he drops. And I'm saying this is a situation where it goes to all of us. We should try as much as we can to help them. So these are things they have to do to up their game. If you are consistent with your performance, then you see you talk of a player who is scoring. Where is he scoring? He's only scoring in his home matches. It's not right. If he goes away and he's scoring, it makes him a better player. You understand me? And so these are the things I'm talking about.
Coach CK Akono urging local-based professionals to be more consistent. That's your sports.
Thank you very much, Hans. And there's a lot of talk in the sports fraternity, and that definitely we'll get that later. Now, Minister for Works and Housing, Samuel Atachia, has debunked claims that a drain at Asylum down here in Accra is fully drenched in filth, and that's incapable of safeguarding citizens against floods. A video showing the drain filled with garbage after a short rainfall went viral last week. This is what joinees found when we visited the site behind the Paloma Hotel.
Ghana Meteorological Agency had said persons living in around areas such as Kwame Nkrumah Circle, Wager and the Graphic Road should prepare for experienced flash floods as the rains begin to pour down. This prediction, according to the agency, is based on man-made factors including choked drains and buildings blocking waterways around those vicinities. This has been confirmed after tons of waste characterized by used plastic bottles, packs and plastic bags were captured in a video floating in the storm drain at Nima that crosses the ring road into Asylum Down. Residents in the area say, though flooding is not new to them, they believe this year's will be devastating as the drain is already choked with filth.
So that's what we found when we visited the site. Today, the Works and Housing Minister is on an inspection tour in the area, including some flood-prone areas in Accra. And he's assured that $200 million has been invested into fixing technical challenges of the infrastructure under the World Bank program. He's also dismissing claims that floating debris in the drains were untrue and had to be treated as such.
It is because it's not salted to the extent that you have, debris floating as they were showing.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yes. The upstream section of this place, some sections have collapsed. Yes. So that is why it's been captured under the gallery for reconstruction. Yes.
And we should also bear in mind that this is a very capital intensive arrangement.
Yes.
So that if the garage should take off it, then we don't have problems.
No, we don't have problems.
So ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is that we have 200 million United States dollars under the garage program, the World Bank program, that's going to take care of this major drain here. This is a salam down drain, which goes into the Odo. And when it's done and it's covered, we will not have these things. But there was a whole propaganda trending that a lot of debris were floating. You can see that after 15 minutes of a downpour, that arrangement couldn't be like that. It was all false. And those who are behind it trying to besmear the government, it is not proper.
So that's the Works and Housing Minister, Samuel Atachi, and my colleague PSC Nanaya Asafo is with him. He joins us on the line. PSC, which particular areas did the minister inspect?
Yes, so far, Emefa, we have been to Asylum down Paloma area, as you mentioned. We've also been to Sotum and the Malam Bawe areas where the minister has been inspecting various projects, particularly ones began in 2018, and how far they've come in ensuring that Accra and, in fact, Ghana is prepared for the flooding situations.
That's my colleague here, PSC Nanaya Asafo. Now, drivers and passengers at the Techiman Tamale station are calling on authorities to fix or replace broken down road signs along the Techiman-Kintampo Road in order to reduce the number of accidents recorded on that stretch. In our Arrive Alive campaign today, Joy News correspondent Anas Sabit has been interacting with some drivers as part of the campaign.
Over the years, the rate of accidents recorded on the Techiman-Tamale stretch has been on the rise. We are here at the Techiman-Tamale station, where a lot of these vehicles that use the Techiman-Kintampo-Tamale Road start their journey from. Isa Seidu has been driving on this stretch for the past 10 years. He tells me the absence of road signs coupled with potholes are the major causes of accidents over the years.
Potholes the almost but so
some of the passengers we met at the station also told Joy News what they feel should be done to reduce accidents on the stretch.
Right now, Techuma is a Buni East regional capital, so we need some petty things like towing cars so that any emergency we will tow it from the road. It happens a lot. It causes accidents a lot. You will see accident and lack of towing car cause an accident again. So it is a major concern. The government should look at it and do something for it.
From Techiman here in the Bono East region, I am Anas Sabit for Joy News.
And the campaign is on #Arrive Alive. Now, every sentence he puts together is laced with a proverb. I'm talking about the Member of Parliament for Sanorugu, Alhaji ABA Fuseni. Speaking on the Super Morning Show earlier today, he said his proverbial knowledge is a gift from God as well as his desire to learn from the elderly. And he exhibited a lot on the show. Here's his thoughts on the Speaker of Parliament's advice to journalists covering news items outside the chamber when the House is in session.
When your mouth is full of water, you cannot blow to the candy fire. See, even sometimes Mr. Speaker himself leaves the chamber, goes to do other business in his office or in other offices, and the media will have to follow him. If you are hungry, you don't jump into the cooking pot. It is not as if you will just confine yourself to the chamber, even when there's breaking news outside. And so it's like telling a firefly in the darkness not to gravitate towards light. It is not possible.
Now, as a member of the Communications Committee in Parliament, what's his take on the shutdown on some radio stations?
When the landlord is there to tell the eloquent story of his house, you don't ask the caretaker for confirmation. I say without any iota of hesitation that the word came from above, that they should cease forthwith.
How do you know there was a word from above?
Oh, they say that when you even cough in the market, even the deaf can understand what you have said. So it is not a secret in the media landscape that we are.
So he was also asked to add his voice to the Joy News Arrive Alive campaign. This was his response.
I've always said that the panacea for hunger is not to hold feces in your stomach. So go look for food to eat. We've pretended that our stomach is full when we are dead hungry and the problem has persisted. Government must first and foremost make the requisite level of resources available for the Road Safety Authority to perform.
Now the microphones will turn over to you.
If your hand is in someone's mouth, you don't hit
the person by the upper head, else you'll be beaten.
There's a saying in a way that it doesn't matter how huge or big a crocodile is, it's still from an egg. It means that no matter how big a child is, can never be like the parents.
Ichizo Nyakazo. The monitor lizard shame is the crocodile shame. To translate it loosely, the NDC shame is MPP shame because they are all politicians.
So when you die in the market, there's no need to announce your death. And that's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks for your company.